back to another Wednesday night interview with HollyWood Affiliate Marketing Services. If you have been on our live before, welcome back. If you have not, welcome. I hope that you're here to stay. Tonight we have Alex Odiari, multi-business owner. He has a lot to offer. And I'm gonna be right here. So if you want to introduce yourself, Mr. Alex.
Hello, everybody. I'm super happy to be here. A little nervous. Been on the road all day, but very, very thankful for you guys to have me today, and super thankful to share my story and get to know everybody on the call. So, thank you again for having me.
Thank you very much, sir. We're very pleased to have you tonight. I guess we can start off right now. If you don't mind, just introduce yourself. I can kind of give a brief overview of what I know. I've met Alex a long time ago, and he was definitely a special person, a special character. Definitely was a beast athlete at Oklahoma State. Ended up transferring also to the Mustangs at SMU. Beast. Say more about that, but NFL agent, licensed licensed insurance for health as well as life, and now the director of celebrity capital for America's most interactive TV show called America's Real Deal. So go ahead and introduce yourself and expound on that.
Yes. Oh no, like Nick said, I was a former athlete. Came out here from Nigeria. Been here, came here at age 12, 33 now. Had an opportunity to play sports at Oklahoma State. Got into some off-field issues and had an opportunity to transfer to SMU, where great things took place. Had a chance to get into the sports world, managing athletes. Was an intern working on one of the most prolific sports teams out there, sports agencies out there, managing top athletes. And from there, I was just kind of able to get in the way, understand a little bit more about the sports world, and from that dynamics, from what I got a chance to work with FC Dallas, and then work for a financial. Then got my foot in the door with the financial firm, and I've been doing that since. And then now America's Real Deal just came to my table, so now I'm super excited about that. Phenomenal opportunity, and there's going to be some great opportunity for people in the future to be able to take advantage of that. So super excited.
Okay, well, you definitely came across the right group. I tell you that much, because like I told you earlier, this vision that we have for this group, started off a couple months ago with probably like 15 people. Mm-hmm. Now we're over 800 in just a couple of months. So, the stars are, the goal, but to come across, so many different people in this group that we have seen, and to be so shocked by what everybody's doing, you never know about the hidden gems that are right next door. And you have, for many years now, been blessed, like you said, to come across the right people in the network, which is the whole purpose for this. And I guess you can expound on that. And now you have that opportunity with the TV show, and we've got a perfect platform in place for you to find different guests. So hopefully people in the group are watching, because this could be a big shot to be on a huge TV show and, finally get seen and get invested in, and also get the financial education behind it by Alex tonight.
Phenomenal. I would love to. Thank you so much. The biggest thing for this show is being able to take advantage of what Obama put in place in 2012. So he put together what was called a Jobs Act. For this, this bill allowed what was impossible possible. So let's just take, for instance, Uber. If you had $100 in Uber, you had to be an accredited investor. And to be an accredited investor, that means you had to be making $200,000 a year or have $1 million net worth to be able to invest in the groups like Uber. So if you had $100 in Uber, that would be $2.4 million today. Well, because I wasn't making that back then, I didn't have the opportunity to invest in Uber. So, you miss out on a lot of people that are not making that income. So what Obama did was said, hey, what if there's a way we can give the everyday American out there an opportunity just for a little bit of $100 to invest in one of these startups, and these startups can get the funding they need to be able to grow their business. So kind of like Shark Tank. Our show started from Shark Tank, the idea of Shark Tank. So if you look at Shark Tank, only 4 people invest. So our CEO was kind of like everybody else watching Shark Tank, And one day was just kind of, ignorant to how the show worked, saw his son watching it and asked him what was it, and his son explained to him how Shark Tank worked. And he pretty much told him, well, I want to invest in this group that came up that, he thought had a phenomenal idea, thought he should invest. Well, the Sharks said no, like turn it down. And he's like, oh, yeah, we should invest in this company. These Sharks are crazy. Well, his son had to tell him, well, this is it's not one of those shows where you can do that. This is only for the sport sharks. So only those who are on the show can invest. Everybody else is pretty much watching. So through the Job Act, he pretty much took everybody like us watching from home, give us the ability now to actually buy the product. If we like it, invest in the product. So now you have, 1,000 people put $100 in. Now you almost have $100,000 that people can now grow their business with. And now you're not just a customer, but you're an owner of that company. And so through our platform, we're able to help that company grow, but have more eyeballs on their business. And so now, unlike Shark Tank, you're able to buy a product, invest in our product, and also vote on which company you believe is the best product. What I'm super excited about now through the financial literacy side is that though you're telling people to invest, little as $100 into one of these companies, we want to also give them financial education. So I'm part of the rules that the SEC has for us is that we have to pay 3 companies to work with, and every one of these companies are very unique to the marketplace. But we also have our preferred ones. But the whole idea is to educate our audience about money, just the simple basics, so they're making the adequate decisions when they're working with us.
That's pretty amazing. So there's a couple of things with that. So I love watching Shark Tank just to kind of learn the different things about business and also just see what people, do. And I think I've been sitting there before and thought something was a great idea, and they, pretty much rip the person to pieces and they walk out the show. And I just kind of wondered to myself, like, dang, like what if, I could have been a part of that, or somebody else out there likes it. I always wonder if somebody like get their information from the show and call them if they want to invest. So what you guys are doing is pretty amazing, because now you're giving kind of like the home shopping network, everybody in the audience has an opportunity to invest in that person. So say, for instance, somebody in the group has, I don't know, their graphic designer or something like that, and they got a unique way of doing things. If, maybe they don't get seen by whoever, now they're put in front of this huge audience where somebody's going to grab that. And maybe they don't even like what they do as a service or a product, but they like how they run their business. So now they are exposed to a whole different opportunity.
Exactly. One of our partnerships I'm super excited about is Roku. So Roku has 64 million users. So this is a chance to be able to get a chance in front of a lot of people. But also, we are working now with NBC, ABC into trying to get in a national network. So one of also things I'm super excited about is our national partnership and our alliances. So with Singapore and India, with 1.3 billion people over there, and Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Japan, and Brazil. So our goal is to be all across the country so everybody can really see some of these unique entrepreneurs that people are not being found. Like you said, the hidden gems. They're not seen, because Shark Tank takes on a lot of applications, and it takes a lot of people for them to filter through that can actually make it on the show. We want to give the everyday American, especially at the time like this, with all things going on with COVID and small businesses going out of business, is looking for the need for capital. We have a way, and thankfully, through the things that Obama was able to put in place, we're able to raise more capital to help that business be able to get the fund that they need. So it's a very, very exciting time of the year. I'm not just saying because it's December, but
So how do you find the candidates for these shows, or how do people get the opportunity to be on?
Most definitely. So we're looking for companies that have a unique product, unique restaurant. It could be unique, something that's unique. So when you watch Shark Tank, ask yourself, what would you like to see, right? So we have some, things like unique companies come on our show that have, like, I don't know if you guys get a chance, look at some of our episodes. You kind of see that there's one company I like is VibraVision, and they're able to, put these shields on your eye, but teach you how to see without your eyes, with your eyes blindfolded. And so these people are able to knock off colors that's thrown at them and say it and be like, somebody could throw a color at them, be like brown, green, and they're doing it with their eyes closed. And this is one of the episodes that's one of our, on our on our yeah, it's some very
that's crazy.
Exactly. And my brother right now, my brother has a crazy app that's really been getting a lot of recognition. He has an app where the police officers it's called check. So when the police officers stop you, instead of them coming to your car now, they can just pull your license and your registration, all your information from their vehicle. And if it's serious enough to come to you, they can come to you. But you can take care of everything on your phone. So now, this was done before COVID, and it didn't. Now COVID is around, everybody's like, this is a genius app, So a lot of cool companies out there. We want to be able to showcase that, because one thing we found out throughout the process, over 50% of small business don't get funded. Because the requirements for them to get funding is so restricted by a small group of people that make the decision. Then now we're opening the gates wide open for every individual like you and I just to get in there and give those guys a helping hand to expand their vision.
Yeah, we're trying to get funded right now.
Yeah, I love I love what you guys are doing. I've never seen anything like this. This is beautiful.
We definitely appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I guess what inspired you to be a part of the show, and I guess do you meet the people that are on the show and hear any success stories? I know you say you do financial education also. A lot of people during our interviews ask, do we offer financial education? And I think now that we have you as a part of the group and your connections, that there's a ton of people in this group that are always asking about, do we give any kind of education on it? So, what is it that you offer as far as financial education is concerned, and for the people that do end up on the show?
Man, that's awesome. So, like I said, my reasoning to get in the financial sector was to be able to educate my athletes. I was this guy that hung out with them. I was their, I wasn't their agent, like their official agent, but I was their junior agent. So we had a lawyer that's the official agent, but I do everything the agent would do except do the signing paperwork. So I was just the connect guy. If there was an issue, come to me first, and then if it's bad enough, we got to talk to your agent. He got to call Jerry Jones. We have him call Jerry Jones. But in the meantime, let me deal with everything. So throughout that process, I'm literally their agent. So they call me for everything. But in that process, as you promising these guys, I'm gonna take you on, I'm gonna be your client, I'm gonna be your agent, I'm gonna represent you, I'm gonna look out for you. The challenge goes on, and you hear the horror stories about athletes facing financial difficulty. Well, unfortunately, it happened to some of my clients, and I really wanted to get down to the bottom of it because it's something I've heard over the years. I just didn't have an answer. Answer was maybe let's ask a few more people to help us out, but I realized that was not a solution. We had to figure out a way on how to teach these guys to fish. And it came to my conclusion that financial literacy was something that was missing, and not just in the United States, but all over the world. It's a 5 billion people problem. So from finding that out, I realized how illiterate I was. I had no concept of the rule of 72, how money grows, how money doubles, how money gets taxed. And you realize that, in relationships, number one reason why most people are divorced is finances. And they don't talk about the money factor. So because of that, kind of made me dive into the financial world to kind of be more a better student. There's a lot of things you can study in this world. I think finance is one of them, and being able to understand that and being able to understand how to leverage money, use, what we call opium, not the drug, but other people's money in the process. What things like Donald Trump and those guys doing, the Bezos of the world, what they're doing, how they're paying off houses half the time, but more in the bank, how are they, doing infinite banking. So throughout our network, we're able to give people just the simple basics and then opportunities where they can, partner up with firms that we have access to be able to get more leadership, more development, and just get more, training that they need to be able to get to the level of success that they're going for.
Wow. So I guess you were saying for the players that you're, educating, and I know you mentioned in the prelim that you also educate their families. I guess for the show as well, can you expound on how you educate the families and the reason why you do that? And then also you offer education for your the contestants on the show. Do you offer education to them and their families as well?
Most definitely. So the offering the education side was a new concept we brought onto the show because it was not even all the way finished to implement. This is kind of like, you guys are getting the pre-launch per se. but okay to talk about for the time being. But so for right now in our show, the 3 things, if you go to our show on Roku and watch it, the only 3 things you can do is buy, vote, and invest. You can watch our show online. You can buy, vote, and invest. And so our education platform came from me watching some of our commercials, and I'm like, man, we don't have a way to actually like train, like really sit down with a client that's going to put $100 and say, let me run through that with you. Let me actually give you the basics of what happens if your money, this company that you invested in does really well. You make tons of money. What are some of the things that's available to? So we don't want to do it after they become rich. We want to do it before then, because that's when usually, those things happen. So thankfully, Adam, our CEO, was a former. He used to own his own hedge fund, own financial firm, and he agreed. He was like, man, that's a great idea. So right now we're literally sector in the process of building that. My biggest process is big founding partnership. Individuals like you, individuals that like you spoke about, that we can get on, partner with, and literally add a unique, like I say, access to our show. Make it, more diverse, and have unique opportunities to give people that you just never have get a chance to be able to, get the light of the day. Now, in terms of education, now because of how slow we build it, we are now able to take those families and able to, educate them. That's one thing that Adam does, is a huge financial background. So anybody we bring, we're literally giving them the full walkthrough of what to expect from A to Z, because transparency is biggest key throughout this process, and we want them to understand what's going on, because I think when they make an educated, we don't want to sell them anything. We want them to make an educated decision. So as they're educated, they can be more informed and say, you know what, I think I need to have this in my portfolio. I need to have that, versus us telling them what they should have. They should be telling us at the end of the day, hey, you should give me this because this is going to offer me that. And you now have a better rapport with your client, where it's more education and them just implementing whatever you recommended for them. So in terms of the families I spoke about, in terms of the players and educating the players and their families, one of the reasons I wanted to educate the families also was that forever I realized the challenge is that the players make money, but the families around them are the ones, most times, are the ones asking for it, whether it's for business or most they're asking for it, right? So we say, how about, nobody ever talks about educating those people. They just want to focus on the one player, the guy that has made it, and then leave everybody kind of behind. And that's the challenge. You're still helping the guy that has made the money, and you're not giving the mom and pop the opportunity to understand, hey, if so-and-so do give me the money, what can I invest it in? What can I do with that money so it can multiply, and I don't have to necessarily go back for more? So now if everybody in that family has a business or something that's contributing to multiplying the family's wealth, man, now you create legacy, a generation where now they can, you can really do a lot of things with your community when people understand about money. Right now, one of the things I'm doing for the players, there's a 2020 matching fund, a social injustice fund right now for NFL players who are either current or former. They can get up to $20,000 match up to them for their charities right now. Up to 10,000, which match up to 20,000, they can have in their charity. That's free money that's lying out there. They don't have no clue about that. What my guys call me about. So you realize the biggest challenge in our world is just education. A lot of people have a 401k. You ask them from a scale of 1 to 10. 10 means an expert. 1 means they don't know much about it. How much they know about their 401k. You will be surprised how many people don't have the answer for that. And I didn't know either. So these players, they have a clue. So when you ask someone now they're better educated, it's kind of funny when you bring, I would love to bring one of our guys on board one day. You can kind of hear them, how they feel now. They understand how money works. You see them now want to build a business to be able to show other guys the same thing. It's a very refreshing spirit to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I guess with that, so you talked about basically the NFL side, and you talk about the show. As far as bridging the gap, so I guess for one, how did you, stumble upon both? And I guess how do you leverage, or I guess what's the bridge between the NFL side and sports, and even from the collegiate athlete who doesn't know, who may think it's something different to the show, and then also on the backside you have these family members who, me and Brianna were talking today about how basically you can have one person in the family that makes all the money or makes a lot of money, and everybody else funnels into this tree, the people underneath don't ever actually get anything or get anywhere. There's one person that's working the whole entire time, and all they're really doing is being drained.
Right.
You have to continue to maintain that. But then the thing is, what if that one person no longer has that, or they get completely drained, or maybe they pass on, or whatever the case is? You can't rely on, just maybe life insurance for,
Right.
to get one big lump sum because they never had the education to be able to do anything with it. And me personally, I grew up. I was in high school when Hurricane Katrina hit, and I remember a lot of noticing at an early age that a lot of people were not educated enough with their money because I started noticing like, okay, where I was at, people, we were gonna buy the new J's and we're not gonna have nothing for the next week, or you get hurricane hit and you get a refund check or something like that. Even in college, you get a refund check and people just go and spend the whole thing on shoes or a big screen TV, but have no wall to plug it into. So I guess from seeing the NFL side to the business, how do you bridge that gap? And I guess how did you come along? How did you get there?
Yeah, I got very lucky, honestly. I was. It's like you said, referral network. I literally had somebody call me and ask me, "Hey, I have this show, and I have this guy that I want you to talk to because I want to see." I want to learn a little bit more. They would like to kind of, because I've been known in the financial industry, the money guy. I have access to people that have money, right? So they were like, this guy, I think you guys need to talk. He may be able to bring a lot of value to what you're doing. I just had a conversation with him. We just like kicked it right off. And I think the synergy, what made it really easy for me was our CEO was very open. He was very open-minded to how we can do things. And my background working with athletes, I've been seeing for the longest time with people like LeBron James, especially talking about being more than an athlete. There's been this thing where athletes have been wanting to showcase themselves as more than an athlete. And there's never been a way to showcase athletes as more than athletes because most of the time they're being told to shut up and dribble. So it's like, how do you get them to showcase themselves in other business avenues that they participate in versus the one they're in? And thankfully, our CEO was kind enough to say, hey, I was like, why don't we just build a whole season of athletes? Why don't we have a whole season of veterans? Why don't we have a whole season dedicated to women? Why don't we have a whole season, dedicated to special groups where they can showcase their talent? So now you have a whole season of athletes. It could be soccer, basketball. You don't know who you have. Any pro athlete per se that can come in and showcase their business. And now their fans are not just buying jerseys, buying memorabilia, but they are actually in business with their favorite player. So you can actually we can actually showcase some of these portfolios some of these players have that are behind the scenes and bring it to the forefront where these fans can actually make money with these people, right? Mm-hmm. And the players can now have a whole nother revenue coming in because they have a business inside and showcase themselves, kind of like Shark Tank, but a whole season dedicated to athletes in that. And also,
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's kind of like I think Wheel of Fortune and all those, they have like the charity season or they have like the, some kind of celebrity thing, the propaganda behind it just to build and grow. I think you're mentioning the George Foreman thing.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break real quick and we're going to get one of the questions right here from one of the members of the audience, Pamela Crooks, my mom. Says, what kind of business do you invest into?
Me, personally, I invest in myself. That's number one investment you got to make before any investment. That's the number one biggest investment. So I don't shy away from that. And after that, really putting the money in the insurance business. Like I said, I don't think that's one thing about Warren Buffett always spoke about was never losing money. I know there's a lot of things people out there, real estate. I only invest in what I know. So if it's not something that I know that, hey, no matter whether it's a pandemic or no pandemic, I can keep making money in, I'm not doing it. So I stick to what I know. So
that's a good point.
Right?
FOMO?
Huh?
Have you heard of FOMO? Fear of missing out?
No, I haven't.
Missing out kind of goes along with what you're saying because a lot of people during either the pandemic or just kind of out of ignorance, somebody say, hey, this is going to go whatever, but they don't do the research or take the time to understand. So they just jump in and have no idea, how to navigate through whatever it is, of losing money. Where another person is doing the same exact thing and making money, but if you don't know, then you can't.
Exactly.
We got another question. says, I keep hearing people's needs to invest into yourself. What do you mean by that?
Man, that's a great question. I was same way when I heard the same concept of how do you invest in yourself. So invest in yourself requires having good books, listening to good audios, like really putting in the time to like want to get the information you need to progress yourself in your business. So for instance, when I used to get up in the morning, I realized that I would start my morning at most times with just a radio station listening to everyday music, and you really ask yourself, how did I learn this song without even trying? I could say every lyric, and I didn't even intend to learn this song. So I said, what can I reprogram myself with some of those books because some of the wealthiest people out there have written this pathway on how they became successful. And they have done it by putting it through, the books. And number one thing that if you look at books, one thing that people speak about is that's where all the secrets are kept. And if you ever want to hide anything from anybody, that's where you put the information at. So I started diving into those things, and I started acquiring information and asking myself, how do these people think? What is the mindset you need to handle this situation? And you realize by investing in yourself, taking the time, maybe an hour or two, to learn to listen to a good book, read a good book, or listen to something that can be thought-provoking to give you a new mindset of how you look at things, it changes your perception. So when you sing with somebody, it allows you to, whether in your job, to get a promotion, because they can see that, hey, this person has skill sets to handle multiple people, because they're not promoting themselves on how to diffuse situations when they're tough, right? Every company needs a person that can manage tough people, tough customers, and have thick skin, all that. But how do you develop yourself in that? So good audios and getting around the right people definitely is the number one that I've seen to do that for you.
That was an awesome point. I'm so glad when I asked that question, I'm so glad you got the opportunity to answer it. Next question is, what number one book do you recommend?
Man, number one book, I would say Think and Grow Rich, the 1937 original one, that one, and then, Rich Dad and Poor Dad. I think it just kind of breaks down the cash flow quadrant. Those two books kind of did it for me. Wasn't it Think and Grow Rich? It just it breaks down how you think, right? And gives you in details on what people are seeing in the process, on how two people can be in the same situation. One makes more and one does less. And how is somebody being in the same company and one makes more money, but they're working for the same company? And it really, some people are limiting themselves on just their thinking, their environment, and what they're putting themselves in their mind. So if you're not putting enough good in your mind, you don't have enough output to pull from. That's the challenge. So getting around the right people that are constantly, expanding their brains, that's when I'm able to meet people like Adam. I can be able to take this to the next level, because it's just the information I'm speaking about. We're speaking the same language. It makes sense to him, it makes sense to me, but we are all converging in the same information. And like-minded, individuals, like we had a phenomenal conversation, but we get like-minded individuals like you and I, it's tough. There's not many of us like ourselves out there, but you need to get around people that are like that so you can expand your mindset to be able to help others that are looking that pathway to get there,
I'd like to make a quick point. So, you were talking about, I guess you're listening to radio and you didn't even intend to learn a song. And, if you think about kids, if you think about just even what they're saying, you pick up things, you surround yourself with environment can move and mold your thinking. If you allow it to, or even if you don't allow it to, because it's kind of built into the subconscious. So, that's something that I would say I've been big on lately too. Is just instead of, I couldn't tell you how I've honestly rarely listened to the radio now, just because like on my way to work I'm sitting in traffic, all these different things, and my goal in life. I feel like instead of listening to something that's not necessarily going to benefit me, listening to those podcasts or listening to something that's going to actually help me grow in an area, whether that's our YouTube channel, how to make it better, this group, how to do that, affiliate marketing, or whatever it is that we want to be involved in, just kind of putting yourself out there. And I just want to tell the rest of the group that too, like that's a big thing is putting your effort into and allowing the things that you want to achieve in life to be what you're actually letting yourself be influenced by, not by just everyday TV or whatever the case may be. And I recommend the book The Go Giver all the time. And there's one other point you just made. What was it again? You're just talking about. Help me out. I was on a roll. We just got done talking about it. You're talking about the radio thing and influencing your mind.
Just pouring yourself in, just whatever your point is, what you're putting out, right?
Yeah. So, for instance, if you go to the gym, you're not gonna pick, maybe the little guy over there that you didn't want to look like, or maybe the guy that didn't really look like he works out. So you go and put yourself with, align yourself with the person that you want to look like, and looks like they're gonna do that. But if you don't surround yourself with people, like you're saying, if you don't surround yourself with people who are like-minded people, the people who are, or even people who are ahead of you and are where you want to be, then it's going to be much harder to try to get to where you're trying to go.
Exactly. And I got around those circles, so it made it easier for them when they're thinking of who should I put in that role. You realize there's a small circle up top. That's why they say it's lonely up there, because not many people up there. But one thing I've learned is throughout that process, again, great books, great mentors, you learn how to extend that hand and give it to the next person.
Right.
Because we build our community, right? So all around, but not just all, but then build people along the process, because that's all it's about, putting other people on, because that's how you expand on what you can do.
Exactly. And I guess with that being said, we can answer this next question. What is the number one advice that you have for aspiring entrepreneurs?
That's a great question too. I would say have your goals. Have a goal on where you're trying to go. A lot of entrepreneurs said things like, hey, I want to be successful. Hey, I want to do all this. They have a I want, and I was like that guy too. Now I had all these I wanted things, and then we have the goals in place, and not willing to understand what it takes to get there. Right? Educate yourself in the process and studying other people that have gotten there. A lot of people don't understand that on your journey to success, there's going to be speed bumps along the way, and not understanding those who've been there before you have gone with speed bumps, but understanding how they handle those speed bumps that they had, how did they overcome bumps. And I've had my fair share of it. And what kind of mindset you need to have to keep going when the days don't seem like it's your way anymore, when things seem cloudy. How do you keep yourself pushing and pushing forward and keep yourself motivated and tell yourself it's going to be okay? So I would say the number one advice on that for real would say have a goal and then understand what it takes to get to your goal. So meaning that I'm going to the gym right now, right? I'm trying to lose weight. I know going to the workout, if I go there and I don't expect to be sore, I should be expected, like after the first day, you're going to be sore. Mm-hmm. First few days is going to hurt a little bit. But if you decide to quit after that and you're not expecting, like, well, I wasn't expecting to be sore, I can't go any more longer. Well, if you know that's along the process, you may quit early. But if you understand, hey, along the way, I'm going to have to drink a lot of water. I'm going to have to stretch. I'm going to have to do all these things to be able to be in peak condition to get to my ultimate goal, whatever that goal is. And that's just the same way, too. You just got to have where you're trying to go and understand the process it takes to get there.
Okay. I totally agree. I got a question, I guess, for the group members. So I guess, kind of back to America's Real Deal then. I guess, what are you guys looking for? And I guess for any members of the group that might want to pursue trying to get on there, what steps do they have to take in order to get there?
Easy. So what I would do is I would drop a link. I'll send you a link here shortly. A link that you can to the group. And what that one
actually, please, you post it in the group.
Okay. Is that I don't even know how to.
You're director and everything like that.
Yeah. Let me know. Okay, I'll be able to plug it in so you guys can check it out. But yeah, most definitely, anybody with a unique idea or have something that they think can be scalable. Have a fan base or say that's. Have a group already following and wants to raise, we can raise up to $5 million, right? Something that's unique, something scalable, something that could really make some noise. I realized when I start asking a lot of investors money, and I realized what actually drove, most of my investors' appetite. You'd be surprised. It was easier for me to raise $20 million than it was to raise $200,000, because if it's, sometimes they look at the number and think maybe that's not a big enough project, I'm talking about crazy number and people saying, okay, whatever that is, I'm gonna put my money behind that. So I would say if you have a unique idea, just put it out there. You don't know what's gonna happen, right? I'm not gonna have no clue. Most of these investors who go on Shark Tank, they don't know what they're gonna see.
Mm-hmm.
Just hoping that whatever comes out their way is good enough for them to say, you know what, I will put my money behind it. And if it's not, I'll let you know what the proper way to go, give you the advice on what to do. Because some companies may be at the beginning stages and just need an off, like you said earlier about George Foreman, right? A guy like George Foreman didn't come up with the grill. Somebody probably called him and said, hey, George, I got this grill for you, man, that I think you'd be good for. Whoever thought a grill would be, make this man so much millions? Just a little grill, but the grill was good. I used it. I thought it was amazing.
The two. And it sparked a lot of other grills after that.
Right? It's a what?
I said it sparked a lot of other grills after that.
Exactly. So, right? So my goal now is that with these athletes that I have built a relationship with, my goal is to always bring those relationships to the everyday individual. Anyways, meaning that you'd be surprised what services, like what you're doing now, who I can know in my team that can use that. They can say, man, I have a nonprofit and we want to do an event. We needed something like this to do something like that. So I'm always looking for ways. If I have a player, I can bring him an idea and say, hey, listen, this company may need a little growth. Here's the idea. I had a company, I had a hand sanitizer company, right? And they came up to us and one of our players liked it, came up with a slogan for it. Everything. It was like, I'm all in. We were like, we're not even gonna be able to pay you no money to get started. Like, I don't care. I like it. I wanna do this. I see the potential in this, so I can go there. So for me, I don't run away from my ideas. I'll give it to whoever it is and then let them make a decision because I may not see it all. That's why I count on our board members. They may see something I don't see to say, and this could go here. So I said, present your idea and let the chips fall wherever it falls, because that's how I got here. I just present my ideas. I'll tell you, I failed with many times. And you'd be surprised who were the ones who said, yeah. And it was the ones that I was like, you know what, let me just try it. And that was the one. And the ones that I thought were going to be the ones weren't even close. So
you don't even need to have an official business. Then you can just
right.
use the idea and you guys.
It helps. Yeah, if you have an official business, a business that's already running and that's scalable, it could be anything. I really don't want to put a limit on imagination, but just put it out there and let the experts kind of decide what's good. Like somebody just put somebody else, business mentor. We offer consultation. We offer all these things, paperwork. We even have our own independent stock market to help people when instead of going public and having a chance to be manipulated out there in the marketplace. We help you, make sure that don't happen to any of our clients that are working with us. So we have a lot of phenomenal things in place. It's just a matter of just, trusting the process and believing in your idea that is going to be something. If you're not going to share the idea with me, you don't believe in the idea anyways. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah.
Let me get this question here. Because I want to expound on the stock market question, but we can get this question first. Here and then we'll
should
talk
you
about
start
that.
a business on your own or should you join with others?
That's a good question. I would say to start off with, I say join with others. Honestly, start with others because I say that a lot of people haven't done business and haven't understand some of the roadblocks they're gonna go through. And so joining with others is like having a mentorship that's be able to give you the process of what they have done to become successful. So definitely start with others, first. And then eventually by working with others is where you're able to branch out on your own because now you understand what it takes to do what that business requires to do. And I was a hard head at first because I was like, I'm going to go run my own because I want to be independent so bad. But then you end up just hitting roadblocks, making mistakes that just don't need to be made because you're just trying to do everything all by yourself and not trying to little help and say, hey, man, maybe I don't know that part. Maybe somebody that does know that part can tell me, hey, if you do this, do that, you'll be able to get there quicker. So I would definitely say from my experience, join with others first. And then from there, that's where your own starts from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that because even for me, I started out, well, I would say as far as independent business, that's not like you going and clocking in. We started out as a promoter, and that was like the first. Well, I would say growing up, I was like, my mom would sell the groceries in the house and stuff like that by myself, and have my own business in school, try to make extra money to buy a Gatorade or whatever. But either way, when I got to college, me and a group of friends, we started our own promotional company. We saw how that works, and I think all the different aspects of seeing our successes and our failures, and seeing how, I guess, what would you call it? I guess even with just work, period, you learn how. Me personally, I like to see every facet of the entire business. I want to know what the buyers do. I want to know what the CEO does. I want to know what I do. I want to know how what I do affects all these other parts of it. And in turn, that helps me to it helps me, and it helps. I would say it helps anybody to be able to understand how the full circle works. And in that aspect, you can go up and start your own thing, because somebody who's trying to own their own business is not going to know everything. But if you do own it, you do need to know all of that, because you know what type of management to hire. Because and I'm sure you can speak on this. If you have a management team or an owner that doesn't know how to hire the right management, that'll run their business into the ground. So in order for you to actually make that full circle connect, you need to have that education and also start off and see those ups and downs, so that you can understand what to do and what not to do, what works and what doesn't work, and what's right for you.
Exactly.
You were speaking earlier about the ideas you kind of just mended with your partner. That's what it's about too. You can't just depend on one person. So that's very important as well.
Most definitely. And you'll be surprised. A lot of some people become super successful just having been an undercard. If you look at Steve Ballmer under wasn't at Microsoft, he became a billionaire just being learning, right? Just coming in and just saying, hey, show me the pathway, and then they end up being a partnership in that process. Same thing I'm doing here. So like you said, getting a mentor and joining somebody that's doing it already, showing you what they're doing, is definitely the right way to start.
Okay. So I guess I just had the question too. What vision do you see for the show? That was my question. I guess, where do you see the show going? Shark Tank is a big show. I don't know if y'all are modeling after Shark Tank or not, but what's the vision for the actual TV show?
Right. Okay. Well, the big vision would be that to create a lot of successful people, a lot of people that can experience financial freedom, right? Because now, America's Idol does a great job of showing people that sing. You have the voice, showing people that sing, but there's only Shark Tank. Before Shark Tank, what else actually showcased entrepreneurs and their ideas? There was really never a show out there like that. But what do you know out there where over the years, you have shows that kind of was interactive, but it's not as interactive as this, right? Wheel of Fortune, you could be interactive, but you're doing it from your couch. Nobody's hearing you calling PF. Nobody hearing that. That's just you on the couch. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was the closest thing, right? In terms of being interactive, because it gave the audience the opportunity to vote, from their seats, or tell people, hey, here's an answer. Here's what we think the answer is, because that's one of the things. They can pick an answer and somebody can help them and say, this group said this much, B is most likely be the answer. Our goal is to be able to make everybody educated, one, and two, give them a chance to be able to invest in companies that they found as unique. Help all these small businesses out there that are hurting to turn their business around. And then, but not only just here in the States, all across the world. Now those businesses, India can help India grow. China can help China grow. America can help America grow. And
how do you actually interact on the show?
Huh?
Like if I'm watching the TV show, how do I interact, I guess, outside of TV?
So right now, some of the things we have right now, you can interact is you can go onto our website and watch some of our episodes, and you can vote on which episode you thought was the best. So what we do is we have 16 companies, and we have one like March Madness on which company you thought is the best, and we have a season winner of all the companies that we had. Unlike Shark Tank, they don't have the best idea like that was the best idea I've seen in a long time. So what we do is we have our company compete against each other. That's what makes the show interesting, because then you have this idea versus that idea. So with our idea in the future, it could be LeBron James with a company here, and you may have Tom Brady over here with his idea. And then man, how people have been voting on who's the best player, MJ or LeBron. Then now we can actually vote on the best idea, and the best idea, you put your money in the idea. And if it's boom in the future, you were there when it first started. You know,
Okay.
but people can have opportunity to say, man, I was part of that company. I was part of Uber when Uber first got started. I was part of Twitter when Twitter got started. I was part of, look at all these brand new companies that are coming out of nowhere. Airbnb, who came up with that? Ooh, like, that's just, they're using other people's houses. They don't have one house to themselves. Uber don't have a car they have under their name, but everybody else, they use everybody else's car to do it. So, you know, you have all these great companies that have been popping out of nowhere, Postmasters. Whoever thought you have your own delivery service that people actually pay to get your food delivered to them? They'll pay more for that, right? So
Yeah.
all these companies have built their companies that come, huh?
I got a $5 coupon right now.
Right. There's all these companies that popped out. They've not been around for more than 10 years.
Yeah.
If you look at that, remember that scooter? I don't know if there was some downtown scooter bikes that they had. And people can pay and ride on a little scooter all around.
Yeah.
And it's the coolest thing. People think it's the coolest. I think
So
so.
it's not even, it's just the experience too.
Right.
Right. Imagine if you had a chance to invest in that. Somebody came up with that. Was like, I think this would be cool if we put it around Dallas and people ride around and would love it. I loved it. I thought it was cool, but it was an opportunity I didn't get to invest in because I was in a position I didn't even know it was existed. So
Right.
now if you give people an opportunity to say, hey man, all these businesses are out there with all the things that's going on, how can I help these businesses grow? Man, it's a great business out here. This is a good idea. I want to be able to invest in that business and help that grow because me helping that company grow, if they go big in the future, I help them do that. And I have a stake. Even if I made $100,000 out of my $100, it was worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to figure out if the company's going to be good because I'm trusting America's Real Deal, their board members to do the filtration for me. Because we filter who's going to make it on the show. So what you see on the show has potential to be big. They promises, but you know, anything can happen. So we just say out of 16 companies, out of those 16 companies, one of us is bound to do good. And when somebody's going to be able to see a lot of money, but we want to be able to give everybody across the world. Africa's going to have their own Real Deal. China, Germany's going to have their own. So all these unique countries out there that we've always heard their voices, but we've never seen their talent.
It would definitely be nice.
Right?
Try to express the importance of networking because, you know, so many people, just like we've been talking about these hidden gems, there's so many businesses, so many people out there that we don't even know about, nobody knows about. And they're,
Right.
just like you mentioned earlier, you know, if you don't speak on what you're doing, you don't believe in what you're doing. So
Right.
it's very important for, you know, that networking and just to kind of put yourself out there, which a lot of people struggle with not even know.
Right.
Before we get to this next question, I want you to kind of walk the audience and ourselves through a typical episode of the Real Deal, America's Real Deal. So,
Okay, can I?
yeah, go ahead.
So before you answer that question, where's the show located?
So you can put it on. You can check us out online. So you can put on www.americasrealdeal.com. So we have a website. You can check out our episodes on there.
I mean, like, where's the actual, like, say somebody is on the show, where do they go?
Okay, well, because of COVID, the last episode season was shot actually here in Dallas. So because of COVID, it's changed a lot of things. So we're not actually going to be doing it in Utah. That's where we are looking at doing things now, right? Till further notice, right? So COVID has been sometimes shady. We don't know if we're going to be open, if we're going to shut down, what's going to happen. So overall, it's been, you know, technology. We was able to do a virtual event over there for Japan, and that was insane. And over 30 companies that were there putting out futuristic AI things that you like, what? These people are on a whole another level. So I think people will be shocked on what kind of talent is out there. You will be shocked. The talent is insane. And we just want to show people that, like, there's some talented people out there people are not seeing, and we just want to give them the opportunity to be seen.
Next question. How many streams of income do you believe a millionaire should have?
5 or 7. They always say 5 to 7. 5 to 7. My guys, every I'm close to, that's a millionaire is doing 5 to 7 for sure. And the reason for that, I've seen it. But one, they get good at one thing, right? They get good at one thing, and then they expand to other things. And they only, you know, they don't try to be in the room. They try to get around people that know more than they do, and they trust their judgment and follow their footsteps to accomplishing it. So they keep a lot of good people that are doing good things around them, and they're risk takers sometimes, but smart risk takers. Doing research on what it is, understanding what they're doing, and having comfort that hey, what you're gonna do is gonna work.
Yes. And again, where can we find your show? Maybe they just
So if you have a Roku, just put America's Real Deal like on the Roku, but also our website. I'll put it on the link. It's going to be www.americasrealdeal.com.
When does it air? I guess is it like
so like I said, you can check some of our old episodes right now. Right now we're working on our first pilot has been done. We put on our pilot, so right now we're working on our season. So we're still looking for good people to put on the show. So all right, there's still time. We're trying to finish the year strong. We're trying to find quality candidates. Not enough people know about us, so we want to make sure we give enough people the time before the year is over to really get in and give a chance to be seen. And as we carry on to do cool things. So I would say by spring, before summertime, we'll have something in place where we will showcase some of these companies coming on. But also how COVID acts, right?
Yeah.
What COVID does.
So I guess as far as I guess correlating this group to you and what y'all could possibly do for some of the members, I guess what would you say to the members in the group as far as what they should be doing and what you're looking for and how they can, I guess, stand out to you as you power through the group?
Okay, what I can do also is drop my email, also our America's Real Deal email, and they could just send they can send their ideas there, right? Send their ideas, send their whatever that request may be, and we'll schedule a time to get together and to kind of explore what's the right direction to go into. So my goal is to help anybody that just wants to find out what's the next step. What does that look like? I'll send a drop link, and then like I said, if it makes sense, I'll connect you to the right people to make sure that you're seen and you're heard.
So they should reach out to you. I guess. Do y'all have any like scouting teams that go out and look also?
Yeah, so I'm one of those, and like I said, I'm looking for people I'm actually in the process of putting that together. We have a team that's already in place, but you can never stop looking for the right people, right? There's always talented people out there, so I never get complacent saying that our team is complete. And I thanks to Adam, because if he said his team was complete, then I won't be here, right? So you have to be constantly open to fresh ideas, fresh minds, and just people that want to do something unique. They can maybe see things that I don't see, and they can come in and say, hey, let's do this and let's add that. This could be a spin. Like what you've done so far has been, been tremendous. I didn't know this could be done, right? And so this has been unique. And this is some of the examples I showcase as a service. There's something that I didn't even know existed, right? This is something you guys have. And it could be very helpful. It's been helpful for me. I can only imagine how many more businesses can find a setting like this unique and very different, because I haven't seen it, and I thought I have. So I don't know who else out there that may say, I've never seen this either, because this literally feels very done, well professionally done. And like I said, I found myself, it makes me feel comfortable to say, man, this is really cool things to add on. This is a unique thing you're doing here. So thank you for the opportunity.
Well, definitely appreciate it. Well, I think, we have another question. It says, do you believe in having an LLC?
Most definitely. I'm not a tax guy, but I would tell you have one. Have you an LLC for sure. There's a lot of benefits to it. One for preventing yourself from lawsuits and tax implications that you can utilize that for. There's a lot of things you can do. Because I'm not a tax guy, so I don't speak on tax, but I know in terms of some of the things we can do in the financial sector, LLCs are a huge factor to help us, our clients, reduce enormous amount of money in their taxes.
I was gonna say, you were talking about the stock market section of it, and I guess how does someone become an investor? In the businesses that they see on the show. For instance, is it like a Robinhood platform or a Thinkorswim? How does somebody become? How does somebody who's maybe doesn't have a business actually invest in someone that they see on the show? Maybe somebody got a great idea and they want to invest. How does the other side work?
All right. So when they go to our website, right? So kind of like when the sharks make a decision on what business they're going to make it, what they're going to follow, they have all the company's information pretty much when they finalize everything, right? There's one thing that the show does. It shows you, okay, they may be interested, but they still got to validate everything that was being spoken about is to be true. So one of the things that the SEC did was make sure that part of them making these rules susceptible to the everyday individual was to make sure that nobody was taken advantage of, that the everyday individual don't get taken advantage of, so that things are compliant. So when you go to our website and you're looking through a company's financials, just keep in mind that all these things are all through the SEC, that is SEC compliant, so that they have the confidence when they invest in the company that they are getting, their hands into what is a viable company. So the website is definitely the proper way to do so, and getting their hands in that, and because it explains everything they need to know through our web link. So there's no confusion on what's going on. And then also on top of that, one of the things I'm doing is raising capital, right? We want to be able to put money in the small business hands and be able to get those people that need funding, because you may have a guy we have a guy right now, they may have $50 million sitting around. They say he wants to, the end of the year coming around and wants to figure out what he could do to maybe reduce his tax liabilities or so. Want to do something unique and give everyday individual opportunity to really do something unique for their business. So you just never know.
Okay. Well, we got another question. This one's is pretty lengthy, so you're the better reader here, so go ahead.
When y'all say y'all are looking for people with ideas for the show, is it like Shark Tank, where their idea has already developed into a business and they have to have numbers of how much money they've made, or is the show going to help individuals develop their idea?
Beautiful. That's a phenomenal question. So
that's actually a very, very good question.
Yeah, it's a really good question. No, it's a mixture of both. So obviously we want to be able to, because we say as a startup, if it's a good idea, we want to take them from zero to hero, right? Mm-hmm. So part of that process, because some of them need consultation, like, hey, what do you do in this process? My brother, when he started his company, he didn't really have any traction before COVID. There was really no need for it. There was all these, not that there was not really a need, because there was all this social injustice going on, but there was never, with the pandemic being added on top of that, it really made it kind of like, hey, let's really take a look at this. So people's businesses change overnight. I was driving today and I was surprised driving by and looking at movie theaters and it's completely empty.
Yep.
Like,
I saw some Clorox wipes the other day in the store, and I literally screamed because I was like, man, I haven't seen those in months. And I told Brandon the day I saw him, maybe like a couple weeks ago, I was like, it's crazy to think the things you take for granted, because it literally can change overnight. It's here today and gone tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? My brother did a commercial for Chuck E. Cheese, and that don't even exist no more. And that was last year.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't even show you a commercial no more because that's out of there. So it's scary that things happen. So you have to adapt, right? Mm-hmm. That's why we say you open a new business, because who thought Netflix, Blockbuster had an opportunity to buy Netflix?
Yeah.
And they could have bought them for like, I think it was $50 million or something like that to make them go away. And they said, oh, Netflix put them out of business.
Man, look at Tesla. Like, a lot of people been saying Tesla would never go anywhere. Nobody cares about electrical vehicles. They've already capped out all this stuff. And literally the pandemic hit. They got, I think it was Carvana and some other people on board. Now you got a couple of other EV companies that are riding that wagon. And through the pandemic, their stock has gone out of the roof. And now they're partnered up with going to outer space and all of that, and people were saying, "Oh, it's not going to go anywhere," and now look at it. And then look at what the technology companies have done during this pandemic too. You really never know what it can be. It's all about having that vision and just keep on going, because literally tomorrow something can happen, and you are what everybody needs.
Exactly. And you said Tesla. Imagine owning a piece of Tesla.
I don't want to.
But that was a business that was started out of the garage, out of nowhere, and somebody needed money for it. Jeff Bezos, how did he make his money? He started making money selling books.
Yeah.
He needed money.
For a long time he didn't do anything. eBay was the king.
Right. He's selling books. All these businesses that we are now looking up to and saying, man, these guys are phenomenal companies, they all started with nothing. Mm-hmm. And then somebody to give them some kind of funding. They went through a lot of series of no's and no's to get to that. We want to be able to say, hey, we want to help fund the future of the world. Mm-hmm. Literally, the new ideas that are not being seen, we're going to bring them out. And I will make this one last subject. This is one last statement, because this one really makes me get so passionate about this. There was a book by Owen Woodward. He was talking about the lens effect. Resolved about the lens effect, and he was talking about one Joshua Bell. The Stradivarius. Not Stradivarius, but the violinist. So Joshua Bell has been playing in some of the biggest arenas in the world. People pay thousands of dollars to go see this guy. And one reporter said, "Hey, if we put Joshua Bell at the subway, and dress him up, where nobody will recognize him, and $1 million Stradivarius, where people still recognize good music." And he was sitting there playing with $1 million Stradivarius, playing the most beautiful music that people paid thousands of dollars for, and nobody was there. Nobody said, "Hey, you should be at the Metropolitan." These people just kept walking by, living what they call a subway life, just going through life with it. And until somebody walked by and said, "Man, that's the most beautiful music. You sound like this guy." And really understood and said, "Man, a guy like you need to be up there with the rest of the world." The same before Justin Bieber became Justin Bieber, he was on the sidewalk playing music. And somebody heard music and said, man, Justin, you need to be up there with the rest of the world. And people need to see this talent. So with what you're doing right now, I find myself being that person that's in the subway, almost taking that concept from that guy and coming in with this idea of looking for talent, say, "Hey, you need to be up there with the Metropolitan. You need to be up there with the rest of the world. Your idea needs to be seen." So for me, I find myself to be nothing more but a humble servant, per se, and just saying, "Hey, showcase me what you have. You've given me the opportunity, the platform. You're giving the people the opportunity, the platform to do what they need to showcase themselves. What they do with that is on them." So that's all you can ask for, right?
Yeah,
very true.
And I honestly feel like we beg people all the time, please showcase your talent, and don't just showcase it today, and don't just showcase it tomorrow, but constantly continue to post, especially even in the group, because you never know who's actually in the group. You never know who's passing through looking for talent. Somebody like yourself literally could be in here today, see an amazing product or an amazing service, and literally that could be that person's opportunity. But because they just felt like, "Oh, let me just post one time, nobody cares about it. I didn't get 10,000 likes today," they got discouraged or whatever. But you got to keep on going, because you never know who's really watching, or when you'll be discovered, or what you'll be discovered for. Because they might like I said, they might not like how or what you have, or what you offer, but they may like how you do it, and there's or maybe they like you, period. And next thing you know, maybe whatever it is that you thought you were going to do originally turned into something completely different, and now you're up there with everybody else.
Exactly, 1,000%. And they say one of the most, one of the things they said that one of the most wealthiest places out there is the graveyard. Because right there is where you see a lot of ideas that could have happened, songs that could have been written, books that should have been written, and it just all died right there. So I always keep that in mind. That's when you see that's where the wealthiest money, that's where the wealthiest ideas are. That the wealthiest place is, because those ideas die with people. The songs they could have sang never been sang. Some people that we said, man, now we keep saying, what if Tupac and Biggie was alive? What if this and this happened? Well, we'll never know. It's just going to keep hypothetically saying, what if, to see it happen. So that's all I can say about that. But again, you've done a phenomenal job with this. I can't compliment you and your lady enough for what you guys are putting together and the opportunity giving people. And people eventually see this in the future. Mind you, in the future, this will be categorized as one of the most epic conversations ever, because you would say, "I can't believe that show is now the big thing." Because I find myself some of the things that we built and how it becomes the big thing. I'm like, before it became the big thing, I used to feel like, man, this could be it. And every time I felt that, I felt the same way about the show. And I've been given opportunities to do a lot of things, a lot of TV things, but none of them ever spoke to me like this did, because I'm like, man, imagine being able to create, 1,000 millionaires out there, your friends and family out there that y'all can have all these access to, y'all invested, y'all took advantage of the opportunities, and now you guys are just doing big things together and saying, man, I'm gonna buy this block, buy that block,
One of my goals, actually. I've always said one of my dreams, which I hope I'm not spilling the beans to anybody out there, but I've always wanted to buy a parking lot, and nobody ever believed or understood why. But I know why I want to buy a parking lot or multiple parking lots, and it might just be a slab of concrete. But I guarantee you, I know what I can do with the parking lot.
Right.
And it doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks or what they see. I know that vision leads. But like you said, you can buy the block. If you have the parking lot, you got the block.
Right.
There's so many other but hey, I'm not gonna expound on it because that's my dream. But either way.
Right. But you don't need somebody who does real estate for that. Imagine having a whole diverse of people that do different things. Now, if you have an idea, like I got my homeboy, he could put on the show for us. My little brother was spoiled. I'm like, you're spoiled because you were able to get funding, and you have a brother that can you say, I'm gonna put you on the show. People don't have that to say, could you put me on the show? Right? Through the platform, you can actually get somebody to say, man, put me on. Like, what's the pathway to that? And you give them a pathway to that. So again, you guys don't take the opportunity very lightly, because I promise you in the future, I would highly recommend anybody to take the chance, go to YouTube and watch Obama Jobs Act signature when the day he signed it, and then hear what he said, and it will eventually make sense to you on how powerful this is. Like, he overturned what was like over you talk about over 80 years of this is not even, it was never happening. And now people have the opportunity to take on, like you said, the Tesla of the world, the Facebooks of the world, the TikToks of the world. TikTok is less than 5 years old.
Yeah.
And another company, Instagram. All these platforms have come around, and people, we have helped build it, but we've never been able to capitalize. All we did was help them build it. Each time they come up with a new platform, we all go help them make millions. And we get left out. And we say only the rich get richer. We're not saying not only the rich get richer, everybody has the opportunity to see wealth. You got to get around the right people, get the right, read the right books, listen to the right audios, and just have a goal to do something bigger than yourself. And the rest will take care of itself. So that's that.
I got one question for you. You mentioned in the prelim a story that you were saying that you want to tell about a woman that was giving, and we talked about the importance of giving. Do you want to, I guess, let the audience know that story?
Yeah,
I was like, I never got to hear you save it for now. So
in life, you never know who will take the opportunity you have and run with it, right? I met this girl online, and it's a YouTube story that's out there, so you can go out there and check it out yourselves. It's a pretty cool story. And she, was in the medical field, was going to school to become a doctor. And at the time was a scribe. So a scribe is like a sub nurse that takes information of, what the doctors, they're taking the notes for that day for them. And these guys are pretty much like, learning, kind of like junior doctors as they're going through school, making about $15 an hour. But she was unhappy what she was doing. She's not saying necessarily unhappy, just didn't think that this could be the future. Just realized she has another 7 to 12 years of medical school to go to. Was kind of questioning, is this really the path? And I was questioning. I was like, hey, let me ask you some questions. Because a lot of times we pick these careers because it has these fancy names and these fancy lingos. And we think that because we get this title, that we're going to be able to, I guess, appease our subjects, but truly forget to do what our main purpose was and then tap into our divine, purpose. And she did that. She was able to dive in, asked a lot of questions, got a license in the financial sector. Now I'm doing $50,000 a month, quit her job. So imagine in 6 months, she no longer works and no longer has to do her full-time job because she was making more part-time in a week what she was making in a month. So when she started questioning, does it even make sense to go to work anymore? And now she's actually one of the higher ups, one of the top leaders in our company, actually one of the top performers all the time, represent for the ladies, not doing no less than 20 grand a month. And it's so fulfilling when we talk because she's helping other people doing the same thing. And when we talk, it's so cool because when everybody has money to do stuff and you have a big ticket item or something you want to do, you no longer see that as the problem anymore because everybody can chip in and do it. If the tab is 6,000 and everybody's making 10,000, you can say, hey, everybody put 1,000 and they won't sweat it. because they know the rules of money. They know, okay, I may write that off. That's a business thing. I need to do that, you know. And they figure out a couple things because then when you pitch in, you guys can have more fun, have more luxury for lower expense because you guys are doing more because you're helping each other doing more. She's making $50,000 a month, and I have 10 people do the same thing. Crazy. Let's take a trip. What's $5 grand? Right?
Yeah.
You can't create something, huh?
Yeah, say you can't do that with the friends that are like, you know, I can't today, you know, or tomorrow.
Hey.
Wait on. I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's how it works.
My goal in life and through this show, and I want to be very clear, was to give people the lifestyle that I lived when I worked for that sports agency. When I worked in the sports agency, it messed up what I thought a career looked like. So it never got me confirmed to the job work because I didn't really know, because before I knew what a job looked like, I did it the way that was unorthodox. So I kind of had what I call the NFL jobs, meaning that we had a time of the year that we went on a vacation and literally went on a vacation as a company and took our clients with us. So being hospitable became a thing for me because I realized when I talked to a guy during the season, hey, listen, work your butt off. In June, we're going to Vegas. In June, we're going to Cancun. We're going to go to vacation. But now we're not going to go to just vacation just to go have fun. We're going to take a part of our day to learn about new businesses out there, new partnerships out there. So we're in a secluded place where we're not distracted by, friends and family. We can have fun, but take a sector of our time and mastermind our next season. Mastermind with people that are like in the other businesses, because it only take 2 hours of your time to mastermind with some people with some place where it's exotic. And you guys have a place where, the hotel's excited to see you because now you can market that. Hey, I'm gonna bring my guys there. The clubs want to see you because you can come over there and have fun. The restaurants want to see you. So you literally bringing businesses to whatever city you're doing it, and you don't have to be local. You can go anywhere because everybody's in a position to do so. So for me, I want to bring that to the everyday individual. I'm like, how can you bring it to the everyday individual if they don't have the income to do so? So I figured, why don't you just create an income, a pathway for them to have that income through the TV show, through the other financial services we work with. If they do that, and we know, okay, now they don't have a roadmap to accomplish that, it makes it easier when everybody's making money because now we can talk about new goals, new things to do because we are all in it together.
Mm-hmm.
And if one guy's winning and everybody's losing, everybody's looking at that guy like they hate that guy, like forget that guy. But if the whole table's making money, everybody's eating, everybody's doing what they need to be doing, and they're grinding, then it becomes more fun to do, I would call luxurious things because you realize it doesn't cost as much as it costs when everybody's doing what they need to be doing.
Yeah, you just said something interesting. I just thought about too. Is like, I guess if you're at the table eating and you're the only person at the table that has food, everybody wants what you have. But if everybody at the table is eating, then nobody wants what you have. Nobody has vendetta or ulterior motive because you all have the same thing, and everybody can either pitch in or everybody's sharing and has what they need or what they want. So you can actually even at that point trust the people around you, because I think that's another thing when there's only one person that funding everything or who is up here. There is another level of greed and even sometimes unfortunately hate or jealousy or whatever, where somebody may be trying to take from somebody up top, but the person at the top also feels that people are trying to take, so that there's no trust there, and you can't necessarily have I guess the life that you want.
Right.
Even the people that you want to be around, you're not able to, truly feel, are going to be there for you.
Exactly, man. And you hit on top of that. I just been very fortunate. I've had a chance to really experience life at another level where I'm like, man, at some point when you do it so much, you kind of take it for, like you say, for granted for a little bit, but I'm the type of person that want to share the fun with other people. Because when I watch a game courtside, and I'm like, man, how awesome would it be to bring my friends to come watch a game courtside? Because I'm leaving the game courtside, right? Somebody said, you should come check out this game, but you should watch it courtside this time. And so I was like, man, who else can I bring here to see that? And I was like, if you're not thinking about who else you can share the life of abundance with, you're not going to get there because you're so considered thinking of yourself. If you're constantly looking at who can you give that great experience to, who could you bless that to, you'll be surprised how somebody's out there is thinking of how to do something for you. So some of the experience I've had, I'm like, man, if you've never flown private, you should fly, you should try it. You should get around people that have done it, and it's exciting to do so. I want to showcase people that they can do that. If you've never watched the game on a certain seats, but it's not about the mature things in life also. It's just a matter of setting a goal and saying that we can go do that, right?
Yeah.
But with your friends and family that you love. Now, because when you do it by yourself, it's just you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's very true.
Right.
I would feel like if you're able to do something enjoyable, you can always have fun by yourself. And you should that should be something that you're not codependent where you need somebody to have fun with, but it's always more fun when you can share that same experience with somebody else. Because I mean, think about it, playing chess. Someone who truly loves to play chess will play chess by themselves. But when they have that other friend there that they can laugh with or share the experience with or whatever, it's always more fun. You can play video games all day, and but it's always going to be more fun when you got somebody else to share that experience with.
Exactly, it is, and I've had a chance to be in that level and just give guys that it's there, man. There are people looking. There are hotel companies, there are hotels out there, resorts. They're looking for people to come see them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of businesses that are out there that are looking for people to utilize them. At one point now, the airport was giving the planes for free pretty much because they didn't have enough people flying and traveling. I feel like we have this life. One of the things, if you don't have a passport, everybody, if you don't have a passport, go get a passport. I don't care if you don't know where you want to go. Start with a passport first. Figure out where you want to go, and then start getting around people. Start talking about things we want to do. You gotta even have the money to think about these things. Just start talking about them.
Yeah.
In a place where you can see it. Start getting around people that speak life into yourself. Stop saying you can't do it. It's only for those people. Because then if you get it, you're the first people to judge them and say, why are those people getting them? Because you're not giving yourself the opportunity to go get it.
And you can't be mad either if you don't believe that you can get it, and you're not. Then if you don't believe you can get it, you'll never do anything to get it.
Right.
And then you can't be mad when you don't, because you your own self. You go
Exactly.
and from a sports standpoint, if you go into a situation thinking, man, these guys are bigger than us, these guys are this or better, faster, whatever, then we don't have a chance, then you'll never win. You have that opportunity. So you have to believe in yourself and believe that you can attain whatever that is, because I can honestly speak from experience that and then I guess I don't know, being foreign or whatever, and how I grew up. Shout out to my mom. Thank you. She always told me you can do whatever you want. No matter where you come from, no matter where you're at, no matter who else, whatever is around you, you can do what you want. And that really did stick with me, and it still sticks with me today. And I've always believed that, and I always believe I'm nobody special. And all the things that I've overcome and accomplished and been through in my life, I think one of the biggest testimonies to my life sometimes when I've even gotten down at some points, I'm just like, man, but then I think again, I'm like, it's so much more to be able to go through that and overcome it, come out of it, so that I can help somebody else, realize that I'm nobody special. I don't mean like I'm putting myself down, but I'm nobody more significant than the next person. If I can do it, anybody else can do it. And I will, and my testimony, I want to serve as something for somebody else to realize, okay, well, he said I can do it. He's been through all of this and he did it, so I can too, versus it being, I always see all these other people around me that haven't done it, but it's because they believe that they couldn't do it. And I heard a lot of people around me, as my mom would tell me, you can do whatever you want to. I heard a lot of people around me that were in the same situation saying, oh, we can't, I can't. But I never believed that. It was never in my belief system. And I can say, and not to put anybody down, but my belief that I could go is what allowed me to put myself in a position to go that direction. And the belief of others who said that they couldn't put them in a position to where they won't even try to set themselves up for it.
I agree 1,000%.
Believe in yourself and that you can do it, because that's the only way you're going to align to the things that are going to take you along the path that you want to go on.
And part of believing in yourself, that's why I said earlier, is part of the voices you listen to every day, right? So today I was going to Abilene. I had 3 hours of a drive. So I spent the first hour intentionally listening to some positive, something, a book, something like mine. And I still enjoy my music, right? But I think you enjoy it more when you spend an hour with getting a new idea. For instance, I'm in the financial sector. And you don't know how 1 hour of a audio may pick up a nugget or 2 nuggets that may help you close a deal. Most women don't want to be asked how old they are. I heard a guy through an audio spoke about, instead of asking people, a woman how old she is, ask her how young she is. And when you ask her how young she is, she's going to say, huh? And you're going to get their attention.
Yeah.
Listen, and they're going to be able to laugh and break the ice to be able to get that deal, because nobody's going to ask them that. And I can't tell you how that message has helped improve my business tremendously.
Write that one down.
You know, so throughout my life, I figure out little nuggets on what can I say to an investor to give me 10 million, 20 million, you know, and have them feel, okay, and what can you say to make them go to their account and say, all right, I'm going to send you this, right? Even if
Text me those lines.
Right? Right? What can I say? But these are not my own special talent. Like you said, I'm not that special. Only thing I do that's special is that instead of putting that time in that, giving that the energy, I just intentionally do this part. I'll say, okay, at this time, let me at least listen to this. Let me get 30 minutes of kind of figuring out, how did that person get that? What were they thinking at that moment? What was their mindset like? You know, they say about people, one of my favorite mentors, Jim Rohn. He always said, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. So at times I used to have sales, I'll get a no, and I'm like, don't like me. It's this and that, it's this and that. And then I'll hear that when somebody say, well, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. So at that time I'll ask, okay, what could I have done different? Who could I ask, what would you say in this situation? And then could I have practiced that better? Could I have asked that in a better way? And then go out there, try it again to say, now I've learned this new way. Let me put it to practice with another client and to see if this scenario works better. And if it does, now how can I refine that skill set? Because that's what's going to help me grow. Because when somebody comes in my life and says, hey, I dealt with that challenge, I can tell them this is exactly what I did and this is how I got out of that. This is exactly what you need to do to get that situation. So I think when you constantly putting those good information in your ear, when those things come in, you have something to rely on to put to give you a mindset. Look at that. One thing he would say was, you know, he would talk about 2 people. You take 2 people that's raining. It's raining outside. They're both salespeople at the same company. One guy says, man, it's raining outside. I'm not going out there. The other guy, it's raining outside. Everybody's going to be home. I'm going to go make some sales.
Yeah.
It's the same situation. One see it different. It's all come down to mindset. So a lot of people, a lot of times create a lot of negativity in their world and feed on that negativity so much that they don't give themselves enough time to expand on new ideas to say, maybe instead of thinking what could go wrong, I should start thinking about what could go right, you know, and pound on that, and then what could happen. Because somebody told me, say, you're going to go 3 hours to go see a client. What if it doesn't happen? I won't know if I don't go.
That's true.
Right? And I was able to get that. I was able to help her. And I said, hey, you know, I would never known this if I didn't go. Because I would be sitting there telling myself, it's 3 hours to go over see that person. I could just do it over this Zoom, but the lady don't know how to use Zoom. So that's the only way I could see her. So, but I had to take the risk to get the reward. Right. And that's what life is, right? Is it going to happen like that all the time? Nah. But you win some, you lose some. You do things that you got to do to make it better so you can get there to do the things you need to do to be successful.
Yeah. So, well, since this is an affiliate, I'm not going to say that. It's not an affiliate marketing group, but we are affiliate marketers, and I'm sure there's other individuals that are into affiliate marketing. I guess the last question that we want to ask you before we close out is, unless there's any more questions from the audience, is there is on America's Real Deal an affiliate marketing section or portion? I guess, can you expound on that and how somebody can get into it? And I guess what's the process with that? Fantastic.
That's a great question too. So I want to be clear that we're not an MLM, right? Because we have some similar structure, but we're not, because we're not built in that way. We can't, because obviously we're in the guidelines of the SEC. But we have an affiliate where people like such as yourself where can come on board with us, you know, be partners with us, right? Yeah. Help us discover other talents, right? Part of other talents, because we don't know what's out there and we can't see everything. So part of the affiliate sometimes helping getting our membership, you know, getting more eyes to understand what we do. Part of what you're doing right now, right? Having more people come in here who want to get educated about, you know, or just something that they may not know do exist or don't exist. So this is a phenomenal platform to do so. So our affiliate platform gives people a chance to not only come partner with us, but make income with us, right? Where we have a structure in place through the final leadership, and thankfully, through my role, I'm able to help facilitate, with the guys, individuals I'm working with. Hey, here's some things we can do to really capture some of the goals that we have, right? So I'm very thankful for I'll see you again, Adam, because by the promotion he gave me in the company, it allowed me to give individuals like yourself or just people that I just love and trust out there to say, hey man, I think we can do some things that I'm not maybe an expert in, because what you bring to the table can add a value to this sector. Because what you're doing right now, how you have us playing, pretty much marketed as, it's a unique thing. So we can be affiliates because you bring something unique to the table that I don't do, right? You can say, hey, I focus on that marketing side. And don't be afraid if you have any talent to showcase it, because I'm going to need all kind of people in the future. I'm going to need tax people, right? I'm going to need
we interviewed some tax people not too long ago. They were credit and all that.
Exactly. Because the reason you want to have as much services as possible, because when I bring in a business, I think of that business as so in my mind, I want you to kind of look in my mind what I'm thinking. As when I go see a player, when I bring in an NFL player and we sign him to our agency, I gotta start thinking of everything this player is gonna need to be happy, right? If he's depending on what round he's gonna be, he's probably gonna want a fancy watch like everybody else. He's gonna want a nice suit. He's gonna want a nice crib, a nice car. He's gonna want all these things, and I need to know who do I know that's gonna produce that, because every year they all want the same thing. So there's no need for me to keep looking for a new car guy, because my guy's gonna want a new car. My guy want a place to stay. Who's the best real estate people to refer them to, right? Somebody will say, man, I just want to be the security guy. I had a guy right now real close to me that does all the security for most local NFL players here. I say, you should be the security guy. When they come in, that's all you should do. When they go out to the club, you should just be the security guy. And now he's taking that and monetizing it, where he's like, man, now I don't want to just be the old security guy. I want to help everybody else that want to be a security, teach them how to be security so they can go help my other clients also. So he's helped monetize his business in that sector too. So our platform allows people to bring in, because if you can be a makeup artist, somebody's going to need to do makeup, people who's going to be on our show, right? It's just, my goal is to find unique people, different affiliates that we like and trust, that can bring unique services to our businesses. So when our business owners come in, these guys.
The idea, actually.
Huh?
I just had a crazy idea. Actually, I was like, man, this could actually even be like a tryout,
right.
to get to the next level.
Exactly. Exactly. So you literally are, because that's how I got my shot. Literally, and the reason I would sign players was I would find people that do unique things. I had a player fire his agent, all because I got his Twitter verified. He called his agent. He said, hey, man, I want to get my Twitter verified. His agent said, I can't get it verified because the seasons, we're going through a lockout, and so nobody's doing it. His agent, I don't blame him. He probably was busy. He was like, I don't got time to be trying to get your Twitter verified. I got so many other things to be doing than working on getting your Twitter verified. But for me, I saw that as an opportunity. So I was like, who do I know can get a Twitter verified? I asked my publicist. She said, I know how to do it. I said, great. Let me go ahead and put you on my guy and see if you get his Twitter verified. And I called him. I said, if I get your Twitter verified, does it make sense to still be with your agent? He's like, Alex, it doesn't make sense. How you gonna get my Twitter verified? My own agent just told me it can't happen. I said, I get it. You already said it's not gonna happen. Let me call my people and see if I can get it done. He said, this thing done, I'm firing my agent, because what do I need him for? Because if he's telling me this is not possible, what else is he not telling me that's not possible? And all I had to do was reach out to a publicist. I don't know how to do verification, but I know a publicist who do. And she did. He called me in Dallas, said, come pick me up. Never did even tell me he was coming in. Hey, I'm in Dallas, come pick me up. You my new agent. And I started laughing. I was like, you really in Dallas? I said, yeah, tell me where I'm going. I'm coming to you. All because it was a service that I didn't have. I didn't know that brought value to that individual. And he thought that was amazing. So it's that. So you never know. And somebody said, do you need nurses? Oh, of course, you can never run out of nurses. Right? You can never. Nurses are some of the most giving people in this world. Huh?
So that's COVID. You never know. You
never know, right?
And I guess what are the different platforms and services do you offer or need?
That's a great question. So I can say, but I think everybody needs to do some little homework too. So you need to get a little skin in the game and get a little research. So check out our website. It literally lists everything on there. You know, from getting it from your paperwork done right to filing to the SEC and all the things that you need to be able to acquire funding. You know, and we literally do from everything, consultation A to Z. But my other services, the financial services. You know, if you just want to get educated on the simple basics about money, how money actually works, there's a book that came out that I don't have it all here that I can share with you guys that super excited you guys can look up. It's called How Money Works. We've taken a simple book, a book for years. I've been trying to figure out what book and I give my athletes for years. If you look at financial literacy books, they usually just thick. And so my guys, my team have been phenomenal. They put a book together called How Money Works. It was sold over 250,000 copies already. And is in cartoon to give people the basics. Because if you understand how money works, you can understand how things are working. Because when you don't understand how it works, you'd be at a disadvantage. So if you ever notice, if you go to the bank, they give everybody suckers, right? You ever realize the suckers are dum-dum?
Oh.
And the same company that makes dum-dums makes smarties, right? Isn't that crazy? So they take advantage of what people don't know. So what people don't know hurts them. Right?
That's true.
So they don't know. That's one thing that hurts my players. They come in, they will say, "Oh my God, it says $1 million signing bonus." They forgot about Uncle Sam, you know, and the agent, the managers, the other people got to eat. By the time they're like, "Man, that's only 200,000." Yeah, that's only 200,000 after you get done doing all that. It's not much in there, bro. So everybody get their pieces too. If you don't calculate 40% of your income being gone because of the bracket you in, you didn't calculate that part. That's what hurts you because you didn't know, right? And that's why people like Donald Trump and those can be able to do things and reduce their tax liability, be a billionaire and pay them their $750. My question is, you guys keep asking yourself, how did he do that? Who's your tax guy?
Yeah.
How do you make $1 billion and only pay $750? Who your guy? Because how are you doing it? What are you doing? How did you get past everybody to get in that position you in? Who are your people? Mm-hmm. It comes out of strategies. They're taking advantage of what people don't know. That's what people like Jeff Bezos. How you make $1 trillion and barely pay taxes? How these guys keep funding each other's charities? How's Warren Buffett sitting on Bill Gates' charity? Why is that? Anybody ever questioned why they do it to each other's charity?
They do it together though, like you said earlier.
Right? So they move money. And how do you understand how money really works? And if you understand how money works, if I ask you right now, and this is for everybody too, if somebody asks, hey, how long does whatever in your bank account going to take to double according to the rate that you ask right now? Could you calculate it? There's actually a math formula for that. Mm-hmm. What the average people are having that account right now, what the average is 0.09% is what the banks give. If you divide that by 72, that's what they call the rule of 72. It's going to take 800 years for that money to double. But the same bank turns around and gives you a credit card at 14 to 24% if you miss the payment. Now, if you do the rule of 72 on the 24% or 18%, that means it's taking them 4 years to make their money back.
Making a killing.
Making a killing. So people don't know, and that's how the banks matter. That's why they have such big buildings. That's why they pay the executives such insane, bonuses, because they're taking advantage of what people don't know. And what people don't know is what hurts them. And that's how I figured out through years, the same way it's going through the everyday individuals is the same way it's happening with athletes. They're not taught about how money works. They are now they all of a sudden become overnight millionaires, and you're expecting this man to figure it out, and that is not going to happen. If you give me $1 million at that age, there was no way I'm going to keep it because I'm going to want to buy everything I'm seeing my people have. And I'm not thinking of, hey, instead of buying a car, I should go buy a parking lot like you. Or go buy some estate, right? Or buy something that can generate cash to pay for this liability I'm about to go buy.
Yeah. Right? Before we end, too, I guess just to piggyback off what you were saying, I was watching a YouTube video. There's a girl that has really, really beneficial information. She was saying as people, gain their wealth, they also increase their lifestyle, their spending habits, and all that. So the person that's making $1 million is now, instead of before they were living off $20 a week or whatever, and they were living life. Now they make $1 million and now they're spending $900,000. and living check to check or don't know where the next thing is coming from because they've increased their lifestyle and their spending, so they're still in the same boat, although they may have more money.
I call it wealthy habits. So some of the wealthiest individuals I get around are some of the cheapest people I've been around. Cheap. So cheap. Got a guy right now, worth over $700 million. Let you borrow $20, he call you next week asking for it. Hey, bro, what you want to say to the cash or the cash app?
Right. I was watching Queen of Versailles. He owned Westgate timeshare.
Mm-hmm.
He used to, where the Trump Towers are, he used to own that. And I was watching his documentary of how he basically went from like super rich, and then I guess his thing failed. But one of the things he did as he was buying like the biggest house there is, he was always telling his family like turn the lights off, close the door, you're letting the air out, things like that. I'm thinking like this dude's a billionaire, and he's telling his family like, hey, turn the water off, stuff like that. And I'm like, man, he cared about his bills. the kids are playing in the room. He's like, do you really need that light on right now? It's daytime. Wow, like I'm thinking, that's a totally different mindset than what you would assume. But you don't get there and keep what you have if you continue to increase your spending, or say, oh, now I'm gonna go buy this, I'm gonna go buy that. I mean, if you're gonna make the money and then go and increase your spending habits, you're still not gonna have anything.
And you'd be surprised that they're the ones who least care what everybody else think. Well, everybody else is trying to impress everybody else. They're the least last person trying to impress anybody. One of my wealthiest friends, you and I know about the car he drives, that he's wealthy, the way he dressed that he is, right? So it's some of the most successful people I've met. You just gotta accept them for who they are, and their true colors will come out. Some people are going to be flamboyant, right? Some of my athletes are going to be flamboyant, a little flashy, and you're going to need that. That's what life is, right? You're going to have the both sides of it. But you realize the ones who are truly wealthy, their lifestyle is quite frugal, and their thinking is not just because that's how they got there. They didn't spend all of it. I asked him, I said, how'd you get rich? I saved a bunch of money.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like I saved a bunch of money. I don't go nowhere. I don't spend nothing. And
3 points, you got plastic like 3 days now.
So
we appreciate everything that you're doing, and the one thing I do want to point out though is we really love and appreciate the fact that something that stood out to me during this interview is you talk very highly of the CEO, and that's not something that you always hear. You talk very highly of the CEO and what the CEO's vision is, and basically the fact that he wants to give back so much love and help people, because that's something that a lot of major corporations, you don't hear about stuff like that, and that's something that we value too. Even with this group, is the reason why we started, because we're not getting a dime for doing the interview, but we want to help people and the love and everything like that, and eventually things will work out for us. But for the CEO that you've been mentioning multiple times now, you speak very highly of him, and you enjoy what you're doing, where you're at, and the fact that y'all are giving back also sits very well. So once again, I encourage anybody that's watching right now or is in this group to reach out and take advantage of the opportunity that we have here now.
Most definitely. Again, like I said, thank you again to you both. You guys have been phenomenal. Honestly, taking the time to give me this opportunity, right, to share my story and just bring value to the everyday individual. I remember sitting on the audience. I was the other guy listening to somebody like myself and trying to get some of the information and just taking notes. And was inspired to want to be like, man, I want to learn more. I want to be able to bring value to people like people have brought value to me. And I think that's how our society grows, right? That's how our community grows, by passing good information. So people can change their way of being and to seek to know there's more out there, right? And so I'm very, very thankful, very humbled. And like I said, I can't wait to be of value to the group, because again, somebody gave me that opportunity, and I don't take it for granted. And I want to expand for everybody else to be able to maximize their life.
I hope that there's multiple people that are able to come to fruition from this opportunity. And
nice.
We can talk more also. And
we're gonna be doing some things though. I love how you guys were phenomenal with interviewers, and songs about how you did the whole. I got some things that I think we should sit back and really come on, because I feel like I'm on ESPN right now, getting ready to. You guys are fantastic. I love it.
Talking to you.
Huh?
I said I kind of felt like it too when we were talking to you. I was like, man, I feel like I'm talking to man, what's his name?
I know
Charlie
you're talking-
Travelton?
I don't know why I can't think of him right now, but they call him Uncle.
Somebody help us out in the comments.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
Shannon Sharp?
Yeah, Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp, yeah.
Man, I feel like I'm on ESPN now.
On First Take. And then what happened, right? That's how it happens. It's how you speak it and then boom. So don't be surprised when it happens in the future. And like I said, that's why I'm excited about the recording. 5 years from now, we're going to look back at this and say, remember, we manifested all these things we spoke about, in December 2020. So somebody put Shannon Sharp.
I truly believe you mentioned earlier. I truly believe that we're gonna have another conversation, and the whole world's gonna see it. And then we look back at this conversation and be like, "That's where it started." I truly think it's gonna happen. So hopefully, sooner than later. Like we said, we never know what will happen tomorrow. So somebody watching is like, you know what? Bring them on right now.
And what I would do as part of a retreat, I would maybe, like I said, talk to our CEO, see what his schedule look like. Maybe bring him on the show one day. Bring him on your show and just have him, ask some questions. You guys kind of get a chance to experience some of the things I experienced with this man, right?
Great.
Huh? It's a what?
Great.
Yeah, very humble individual, taught me a lot. One of my favorite mentors literally takes me by the arm and says, "Hey, here's what I have done. Here's where I want to go. Here's some of your ideas. What do you think we can do?" And being like, I didn't see it like that. Let's do that. And that is allowed me to be more transparent with other people and say, what ideas do you have? Because maybe I don't see it. I can't take my title and say, because I'm in this role, I know it all. I just get around people that know it better than I do and ask them to help me with the process. So, anything I could do to bring value to you and your group, I'm very, very open-minded and very, very happy to do that for you. What can I say about my boy Andre? Old Rumi. I can't. I gotta look out for my homie.
Yeah.
How can I say no? Most people be like, I'm busy today. Not today, because I'm very busy. I literally walked in. I've been gone for the last 6 hours. Walked in with just to spare. Was like, let's do this.
Trevor, we understand, and as you know, as even in our previous conversations, every time we've gotten a chance to talk, we just all over the place. It's just like, hey man, I'm driving right now. You were driving this morning. Got the this life, that life. Yeah, man, it's crazy, but we're trying to make it happen. And you got a great opportunity for not only us, but for everybody else in the group. Look forward to doing all the work. We appreciate your time tonight. I know people are probably trying to get to their dinner. And you got the chance to do it. Because I know you've done it. So thank you very much. We definitely need to be in contact after this to talk about some other business, but definitely appreciate you coming on today. Anybody in the group, continue to post your stuff, continue to get your ideas out, because you never know where it may take you. I guess, do you have any closing words for everybody?
I'm going to leave my info to the group. So I'm going to leave some info so people can, if anybody want to get a contact with, get a hold of me, through you, Nick, I'm going to facilitate something. So we'll know how that's been facilitated along the process. So with the help of Nick, we're going to be able to figure out some things. So I could be able to, like I said, make sure there's opportunities literally there. So nobody is saying, well, I didn't get a chance to talk to him, and I didn't get a chance to expand that. So I want to know that before, when I get up the call, we have a way that everybody got the information they need. And maybe we could do a pitch event, right? The sky's limit. Do a pitch event one day, and some of the ideas you guys have, maybe you're scared to showcase it. Maybe you're scared to call me, or maybe scared to email me. If we have a pitch event, maybe you can bring some of your ideas, and just like Shark Tank, just showcase your pitch. And if it's, we'll put it on the show.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of opportunities here.
Yeah. One of the hardest things we do each week is just try to find somebody to interview, because there's so much talent.
Yeah, it is. And I got a phenomenal group of guys that, like I said, that would love to bring value. So anything to bring value to you and your group, please count me in. I'm more than happy to be there for you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm sure that a lot of people are educated today and inspired by your words. And please, anyone watching or anyone, this is recorded and will stay on the page so you can watch later, come back. He will drop his information so that you can get in contact with him. But please, please, please share what you have. We're looking for the hidden gems here, and he's here to help you out as well.
And Alex, feel free to share this interview, which is recorded, with what you're seeing.
I would love to. Nah, most definitely. No, definitely. We'll do. We'll do. Thank you again, guys. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's have a good one.
Good night.